I've been eyeballing medium format cameras for video for a while now, but they are still in their infancy stage. Fuji GFX 100 Mark II, being my prime target, comes with internal ProRes, 1080p up to 8K recording, but along the way it introduces a lot of crop factors, especially severe in 8K, which reduce the active sensor size to far below full frame, so it's not really a smart investment just yet. I still wanted to film on a larger sensor size than the full frame, so the next logical solution was a Speedbooster. And this is the one I got. XPImage Mamiya 645 to Sony FE. Why buy this new goofy brand over a well-established one like Kiron? Positive luck and the price. While bayonet mounts are fine, there's always a possibility for wiggle to appear, especially when using other adapters. And since we'll be doing manual focusing, we wouldn't want any wiggle now, would we? So with the positive lock, you just align the lens and the adapter, tighten it, and it's rock solid. Lovely. I'm going to assume that you already know what speed boosters are, but long story short, it compresses wider area of incoming light onto a smaller area of the sensor, effectively gaining you a wider field of view and one extra stop of light. So how does it perform? Well, Mamiya 645 film size is 2.6 times the area of 35mm full frame, which translates into 0.62 times crop factor. And using this speed booster, we get 0.71 times crop factor equivalent on the Sony, which is very close to the original Mamiya 645. For reference, Fuji GFX is 0.79 times crop. So we should compare a medium format lens with an equivalent full frame lens, but Mamiya 45mm f2.8 multiplied by 0.71 times comes out to around 32mm f2.0, so it falls between my 28mm and 35mm, which means we are gonna be using both of those focal lengths to compare because I do not have a 32mm prime lens. All of these are purposefully shot wide open, and I'm sure you've noticed the fuzz and the softness in the corners of some shots. This could be the fault of the lens, speed booster itself, or simply shallow depth of field. So we are going to test it out on a flat, textured surface, which means we're going back to the famous wall of truth. As we go from f2.8 up to f22, we can deduce that even though there is a certain amount of fall off towards the corners, the fuzz I spotted in the first few shots was simply shallow depth of field. And just to be sure, I borrowed a Nikon 35mm f2.0 from my friend. And it turns out it's actually soft, it's not shallow depth of field. I was wrong. Speed Booster introduces a bit of corner softness and distortion. Further testing needs to be done. First impressions are quite positive, but it would have been great if I had an 8K Cinecam to test out the true limits of this setup. But even in 4K and 12 megapixel JPEGs, we can see the glimpse of the sharpness in the detail. And while I do like the results, I've been using it for barely 2 weeks, so I'll have to get a couple of more lenses into the mix, build out a decent lens set, and we'll see how it pans out. And by the way, many of the shots in this video were filmed with a smartphone. Which one? Find out next time in Ducks and Guns.